The lawyer read, "I leave everything to the son I wish I had," and my best friend realized his father meant me, not him. The lawyer's office was dead silent, except for the sound of Owen's mother crying. Owen sat frozen across from me, staring like I'd just murdered someone in front of him. His mother kept shaking her head, dabbing her eyes with a tissue that was already soaked through. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The lawyer had just read Mr. Hayes' will out loud, and somehow, impossibly, he'd left everything to me. Not to his actual son sitting 3 feet away, to me, Owen's best friend. The house worth over $1 million, the business, the investments, everything. Owen's face had gone from confused to pale to bright red in the span of 30 seconds. His hands were clenched into fists on the table. I wanted to say something, anything, but my throat had closed up completely. This had to be a mistake. There was no way Mr. Hayes would do this. No way he'd leave his own son with nothing and give it all to me. I'd known Owen since we were 7 years old, 20 years of friendship. We grew up next door to each other, inseparable through everything. His dad, Mr. Hayes, treated me like family from the moment we met. When my own father walked out when I was 9, Mr. Hayes stepped in without anyone asking him to. He taught me how to throw a football, helped with my homework, drove me to job interviews when I turned 16. He came to my high school graduation when my own dad didn't bother showing up. Owen used to joke that his dad liked me better, but it never felt serious. We were brothers. Their relationship was different though, complicated. Owen and his dad fought constantly about everything. College, jobs, money, responsibility. I tried to stay out of it, but I saw the disappointment in Mr. Hayes' eyes every time Owen quit another job or dropped another plan. Last month, Mr. Hayes died suddenly from a heart attack. I was destroyed. Owen seemed almost relieved in a way I didn't want to think about too hard. At the funeral, I spoke about how Mr. Hayes had been the father figure I desperately needed. Owen spoke too, but his words felt rehearsed and empty. A week later, Owen called and asked me to come to the will reading. I told him I didn't need to be there, that it was family business. He insisted, said his dad had specifically requested my presence. I figured maybe Mr. Hayes had left me a watch or some small keepsake to remember him by. I never imagined this. Now, Owen finally spoke, his voice shaking with rage. "You knew about this. You had to know." I shook my head hard. "Owen, I swear I had no idea." 6 months, Owen said, looking at the lawyer. "You said he updated this 6 months ago." The lawyer nodded. "Yes, and he confirmed it multiple times." Owen's laugh came out bitter and broken. "So for 6 months, my dad knew he was going to do this. Knew he was going to give everything to you instead of me, and he never said a word." Owen stood up so fast, his chair fell backward. "This is insane. He's not even family. I'm his son. I'm his actual son, and he left me nothing?" The lawyer cleared his throat. "Not nothing. There are some personal items designated for you and your mother, and there's a letter." He slid an envelope across the table to Owen. Owen grabbed it and ripped it open, his hands shaking so badly he could barely unfold the paper. He read silently at first, his face going through a dozen emotions. Then he started reading out loud, his voice cracking. "Owen, I love you, but you've spent your whole life coasting on my name and my money. You dropped out of college. You quit every job I got you. You've never shown ambition or drive or gratitude. I kept hoping you'd change, but you never did. Meanwhile, I watched your friend build himself from nothing. He worked 2 jobs to pay for college. He started his own business. He showed me what a son could be if he actually tried. I'm leaving everything to him because he earned it. Maybe this will finally teach you that nothing in life is guaranteed. Maybe you'll finally learn to work for something. I hope someday you'll understand. Dad." Owen crumpled the letter and threw it at me. It hit my chest and fell to the floor. "You stole my father," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "And now you're stealing everything he built." His mother stood up and put her hand on his shoulder, but she was looking at me, not with anger, with something worse. Pity, like she'd known this was coming. Like she'd watched her husband fall out of love with their son and into admiration for me and couldn't do anything to stop it. Owen walked out without another word. His mother followed, pausing at the door to look back at me one last time before closing it behind her. I donated most of the inheritance to charity and tried to reach out to Owen for 2 years. He never responded, and I lost my best friend along with the only father figure I ever had.